2, 1. Hey guys, what's going on? This is Sean.
Hey, I'm Dave.
And years ago, I'm talking about decades ago. I had some
Twitter and Facebook.
There you go, man. I had some great news, and I just happened to saw my friend at this very spot. This used to be a get-go here. Now it's over there and it's gone. But anyway, I was on my 12-speed, and he was on a skateboard, or I knew that he was a big Kiss fan and vice versa. So I go, dude, did you hear the news? He's like, what? And I go, Kiss got a new drummer, Eric Carr, he's badass. And you're like, what?
Yeah, I had no idea Pete was even out of the band. It wasn't even in the. It was a week before the People magazine came out with Eric on the cover, and the news wasn't even out. Pete wasn't in the band. So yeah, it was a surprise. I was in shock. I didn't believe it. It was a week before.
Yeah, and it was on the news, and like Kiss had a new drummer. And the other thing I was so excited about. The name Eric Carr is back in 1976 or 1978. Boston had a engineer, Eric Carr, and I was thinking 2 + 2 is 4. It's got to be the same guy. But for years and years, I mean for decades, I told everybody this stuff.
It was the same guy.
Yeah, and it was like holy cow. But yeah, it was awesome.
He did a lot of things that brought Kiss to the next level, like his drumming on the Ode, and which is the first time he played on the Ode, and his drumming on the last song on Dark Light, which is in the middle of the album, which is Dave's favorite song, and Dark Light and Escape from the Island. And the last song is I, which is very reminiscent of a song by Thin Lizzy called You Can Do Anything You Want to Do on the Black Rose album. But the drum parts on those sound more like the new metal at the time, like Judas Priest, British Steel, or Iron Maiden's first album, the very fast, kind of like semi-punk influence. I wouldn't say Eric's more of a punk influence drummer, but he was playing those fast beats. That kind of moved Kiss to the next level to where they would go with Lick It Up and what he has on. But Eric's, like you said, Eric's drumming changed Kiss and made it a very much harder band. And although I think Eric came to a band called Mother Earth, like a disco band in Brooklyn, is the band he played in before he played in Kiss. And they were a very big band. Not that summer, but the next summer, Kiss toured Australia, I think, or maybe they toured it in the fall. But we got to see a video like the next summer before The Elder came out. And there's a clip and it was on Night Flight, and it was them doing Detroit Rock City live. And during the guitar break, where it's just the drums and guitar, Eric does something that shows respect to Peter, because the drum part is just, we both have played drums, that maybe don't like Eric Carr so much, but Pete's part is what Eric does. Drop. Yeah, here. What Eric does is and that's what he does in it. And if you notice that part, that cowbell part that he's putting in is the same cowbell part that Pete uses on the Alive drum solo, which Pete was throwing back to Gene Krupa, who used to play in Pete's dad's bar in Brooklyn, I think. Awesome. But anyway, by Eric putting that part in there, and it's just like 3 measures, man. And maybe nobody, and I've never heard anybody in the world talk about it but me, but Eric puts that part in there, and he's actually rumbling on double bass drums while he's doing that. So it sounds totally different than Pete's part, but it's just the drums and the guitar right there. But when I saw that, I was like, this guy gets it, man. He gets it. Pretty bold that he snuck this in on Gene and Paul and paid respect to Pete, because Pete can play. Man, amazing. The one drum part that I really loved that he did is King of the Mountain. It made me go get double bass drum.
Years ago, during I was hot in the shade. I was in Lubbock, Texas, and our tour was going to start in Lubbock, Texas. And up there, like at, I don't know, 6:30 or 7 o'clock in the morning, I said, hey, can I be a roadie? Yeah, sure. Well, you need to talk to so-and-so. I said, okay. Meanwhile, there'd be this guy saying, well, we need 6 people over here to lift this, and I'd be like, okay, and you know, I'd be on it, you know. Anyway, after I finally got to talk to the guy, he says, we're all filled up. I said, well, I've been working here for about an hour and a half. Is there any way that I can get a pick, a drumstick, anything? He started laughing. Nah, because you got to experience things and you got to work at the show for KISS. And then I said, yeah, for free. Awesome. Well, man, I'll see you at the show, you know. Because when I was leaving, I saw Eric Carr. And I go, that's the dude. And I was going to stop him and say, dude, we've got the same birthday. But I forgot my ID, so I couldn't really show him to. And that was like, you know, the big kicker for all these years. I mean, I was in stitches. I just couldn't believe it, man. I came home and I told my brother. He's like, holy, really?
Oh, good God.
The Lubbock days. Just say the Lubbock days.
Yeah,
So that night I went and saw the show. Eric Carr absolutely tore it up. I mean, he sung Black Diamond. He did Little Caesar. I mean, his voice was just stronger than James Paul. I mean,
yeah.
And but other than that, man.
A year and a half later, he's gone.
Yeah. So I was like, damn. But Eric Carr was a great singer, a fantastic drummer. He played guitar, do anything.
Yeah,